Hi, this is Nick with Atlona, and I'm going to walk you through some of the stuff that we're showing here at the Cisco Live show, including the new Cisco Telepresence integration with Velocity. So what we've got going on here, we've got a couple of things going on. We've basically got a room built around a WebEx room kit, and at the same time with all of the stuff in the room necessary to support soft codecs such as Zoom or Ring Central or whatever soft codec you happen to want to use at the time. So we've had a number of customers request support for Cisco Telepresence because maybe their users are familiar with the Touch 10 interface and that's what they want to keep using, but there's a limitation because Cisco Telepresence boxes are kind of limited on how many inputs they have. As an example, this WebEx room kit that we have here only has one physical input. But through the magic of Velocity, we're able to simulate having more than one input in a way that's invisible to the user. So if we go up here on the Touch 10 interface, we can see right now we're sharing the room PC, or rather previewing the room PC. And even though this is a room kit that only has one input, if we go to the share tray, we can actually see all of the inputs that we've set up in the system. There's a left input on the table, there's a right input on the table, and there's the room PC. So one thing that we'll notice, if we flip this left input open and pull the HDMI cable out a little bit, and then connect it up to the PC, then we'll actually see over here on the Touch 10 that now that's available to share, and we can switch to it. So now we can see that's up on the screen, coming from this PC as a source, and then we can switch back to the room PC if we want, and now we're back to the room PC playing the Atlona Panduit video. Easy. And the beauty of this is it's completely invisible to the end user, so they can just use the Touch 10 interface the same way that they know how to use the Touch 10 interface with native Cisco hardware, no problem. The fact that Velocity is driving this behind the scenes is invisible. Now this system, as you can see, is driven by AV over IP. Because it's Velocity driving this integration, it doesn't necessarily have to be AV over IP. It could be AV over IP, it could be HD-based-T, or it could even be in some rooms, maybe smaller rooms, it could be a straight HDMI to HDMI matrix switch. Because it's Velocity driving this technology on the back end, it's invisible. So the other part is showing that we can easily and quickly switch this room out of WebEx mode. If we see on our touch panel, we're in WebEx room kit mode right now. If we switch to just routing the PC directly, now we see the same thing come up on the screen, but we notice that our table microphone is now active, as well as the USB HDVS cam up there is also active on the room PC. Now, since we're using not just OmniStream audio video, but also OmniStream USB for moving signals around, then what we can do is we can actually connect up USB and HDMI and have the system route them automatically. So what we can do, if I take my flip top Panduit table box, I'm going to connect USB first. I'm going to plug USB in there. And then I'm going to come over to my Surface, and connect up USB, and then I need to log into this thing. There we go. And then I'm going to connect up HDMI to this input, this right side input. And connect him up. And I can see now that the Surface is going to be automatically routed to the TV. Now, not just audio video automatically routed, but also USB, because now I see my mic is still active and the camera And what I can see is I'm ready to go and open up my soft codec, but since I'm at a trade show, I don't have a soft codec. I'm just going to open up the camera app, and we can see what this HDVS cam is seeing out here on the show floor at Cisco Live. So now the other kind of interesting thing that we've set up in the system to make it extra easy to use and simple for the customer is if we're, like I talked about, if we're not in WebEx rootkit mode, then USB is being routed. But if we switch to WebEx mode, so we're going to switch back to WebEx mode. As soon as I do that, USB gets automatically derouted. So we see now the PC loses the HDVS cam. It lost the microphone. The microphone's no longer on because it's not connected to anything. And the reason for that is because the WebEx rootkit has its own integrated, camera and mic and speakers. So we don't want anything else having access to mics and speakers and confusing the end user as to what's going on. So this way it's automatic. The system switches between using the WebEx kit's integrated camera and mic and speakers if we're in that mode, or using the table mic and HDVS cam and room speakers if we're not in WebEx rootkit mode. So very simple, very easy for the end user to use. So we've also got additional WebEx or Cisco telepresence integration, where here I showed how we can use the WebEx rootkit to share additional inputs beyond what are native to the telepresence box, but there's also integration that goes the other way available, where instead of wanting to use the touch 10 interface, the customer wanted to only have a velocity touch panel in the room and have the velocity touch panel do all of the control of the telepresence system. That's possible as well. We're just not showing it here. But you've got a lot of flexibility and a lot of extensibility built into the system here that the customers can use. So thanks, and have a great day.